Is Mark on the phone? Did we get him?
Oh, Mark Stewart from the Advocates. Hi, Mark.
I'm here.
Hi, how are you, Mark?
Hey, how are you guys?
Good.
Good.
Look, if you anybody listening has a question, we talk about the Advocates all the time, and we say if you've been in an accident and you don't know what to do, call the Advocates. So we had this big windstorm, Mark. I think you're aware of that.
I'm aware of it. Yeah.
Did this do anything? I mean, in terms of personal injury claims and things like that?
So we haven't heard any calls, or I haven't seen anything on the news about any claims that would actually be considered a personal injury.
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously claims that you could make with your insurance, homeowners or auto, depending on what was damaged in the accident. But as far as a personal injury claim, there'd have to be some type of negligence. And usually in a natural disaster like that, there's not anything that would be considered negligent.
It's too hard to. I mean, I guess you could say, well, they were negligent for planting that tree there that fell on my house, but that's
it's an act of God.
Yeah.
Well,
that'd be a tough case.
Yeah, Gina, you brought it up. I was going to wait. In insurance contracts, is the term "act of God" still in there?
Oh yeah.
It is, yeah. Especially in Utah, when we see it as injury attorneys, a lot of times in the winter during snow or ice storms.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the ways insurance companies will try and get out of it is if there's like an accident on the freeway where someone hits black ice and they spin out,
mm-hmm.
and then they wreck into your car. Under those situations, a lot of times we'll hear from the insurance company that they're not liable because it was an act of God.
Well, then doesn't the insurance company then have to prove that there is a God?
That's a whole other...
that's a whole other story.
877-602-9696 if you'd like to talk to Mark about questions about your insurance or legal questions.
So
could you tell us a little bit about personal injury protection, Mark? What is that?
Yeah, so in Utah, one of the nice things that we have, I tell a lot of people, one of the nice things our legislature did, if you don't think your elected officials do anything, this is one good thing that they did about 30 years ago. They established, it's called PIP, or Personal Injury Protection. And what it is it's a $3,000 minimum that all auto insurance sold in Utah has to carry. So anyone that has a Utah auto policy, if you get in an accident, if it's your fault or not your fault, you're going to have at least $3,000 of coverage to go and get medical treatment. And the purpose of the law is to encourage people to seek treatment. Because one of the things that we hear a lot of times when people call us is, we'll ask them, well, were you injured? And they'll say, yeah. And we'll say, well, did you go and get medical treatment? And a lot of times they'll say no. And we'll say, well, why didn't you go? And they say, well, because I don't want to get medical bills. I don't have the money to cover any medical bills, or I don't have health insurance. So the nice thing that everyone should be aware of is if you are in an accident, even if it is your fault, you have at least $3,000 of coverage that your auto insurance has to pay towards medical bills. So it's a nice thing that's there. It's something that you're paying for when you pay your monthly premium every month. If you use it, they can't raise your premiums. They can't drop you from your insurance. It's something that Utah law requires that they pay. So that's why we always encourage people, if you feel any type of pain after an accident, you should at least go and get checked out by an Instacare or the ER or your primary care physician, because you're not going to have to cover those bills. Your health insurance is not even going to have to cover them. That PIP is going to kick in and cover it for you.
Well, how do you access those funds, though? I mean, how do you do that?
So all you actually have to do is if it was the ER or an Instacare, you just have to give them your auto insurance information, and then they bill it just like they would health insurance.
This is why the advocates are so good. They know the things that we don't know. Call them; they have the answer.
So, Mark, we say sometimes when we're talking about you guys on the air that if you call, it's no obligation, and you can probably determine on the phone whether it's a case you can take or not. But sometimes you may actually refer people to other attorneys, right?
That's right. So we get a lot of calls that aren't something related to the fields that we cover. And so, yeah, we have a list of attorneys that we work with that cover all the other areas of law, and we're happy to give out referrals. So, yeah, if it's a case that we don't think that we're going to be able to help you out, we'll do the best that we can to try to get you in the hands of someone that can help you.
I think that's just remarkable. I like that a lot. If there was a woman who cut off her hand with a circular saw, and then she came to you and
Hey,
said,
I think I heard this.
Yes. I mean, people do that kind of thing, don't they? Have you ever experienced anything like that?
So I've never experienced that situation, but yeah, we do get calls that seem a little bit fishy like that. And we, of course, are respectful to them and try and give them some direction. But yeah, there are situations, obviously, that we can't do anything about. Yeah. And that would be one of those.
Yes, I would think. Listen, the Advocates, 801-355-5550, I think is the number we use to refer you to the Advocates. You'll get people like Mark, and there are a lot of other great attorneys, although it is a small firm. But they can help you. So thanks for talking with us, Mark, and we'll hear from you again in a week or so, okay?
Great. Thanks, you guys.
All right.
Have a great week.
Yep. See ya.